Okay, welcome back to the deep dive. You know, this is where we take your sources and we'll give you that knowledge shortcut you need. And today, we've got a really important mission, I think. We're diving deep into using mindfulness and meditation, these evidence-based tools to get a handle on anxiety and stress. We get it, you're looking for practical stuff, right? Actionable knowledge for resilience in this crazy fast world. So, our aim today, unpack how mindfulness works, look at the actual clinical proof, and give you techniques you can use, like, right away to break that anxiety cycle. Okay, let's get into it. So, mindfulness. At its heart, it sounds almost too simple. The sources define it pretty clearly, though. It's basically our ability to be fully present, paying attention on purpose, right now, in this moment, and crucially, without judging.
Yeah, that non-judgmentally part is absolutely key. Because think about it, anxiety often comes from getting stuck, right? Either stuck dwelling on the past or spinning out about what might happen in the future. So mindfulness just brings you back, anchors you to right now, and that gives your mind this vital break from all that worry, that spiraling.
Let's talk about that spiral a bit more, the anatomy of it. Because when a scary thought pops up, it's not just in your head, is it? It's physical.
Oh, absolutely. Your sympathetic nervous system, that's your internal alarm, it just goes off. Fight or flight kicks in.
Right, and boom, your body gets flooded with stress hormones, chemicals, and that causes all those horrible feelings. The racing heart, you can't catch your breath, that knot in your stomach.
Exactly, those physical sensations.
And then what do? Instinctively, we tense up even more, try to push it away, control it. And the sources point out we judge ourselves for feeling anxious, judge the situation. And then we start telling ourselves stories about it, right? I can't cope. This is a disaster. And those stories just balloon. They become way bigger than the actual thing that triggered it.
That's spot on. That secondary reaction is what really pours fuel on the fire. And this is where mindfulness steps in. Its core job is to create a little bit of space, a buffer, between that initial fear feeling and your automatic, often unhelpful reaction. We call this the mindful pause.
Okay, the mindful pause. I like the sound of that. But let's be honest, when you're actually in it, when the panic is rising, finding that space feels, well, almost impossible. How do you actually create that pause?
Well, creating that pause is the practice, really. It takes time. The techniques we'll talk about, they're not about instantly erasing the anxious thought. They're about changing your relationship to it. Mindfulness helps you learn to just see anxious thoughts for what they are. Just mental events like notifications popping up, or maybe spam in your mental inbox, as one source nicely put it.
Spam, I like that. So not a legal summons you have to respond to immediately.
Exactly. They're just stories we're telling ourselves. And once you stop automatically buying into them, stop identifying with them as the truth, they start to lose their grip. Their power over you fades.
So you acknowledge the thought is there, but you don't have to jump on its train and ride it off the cliff.
Precisely. And doing that builds what researchers call psychological flexibility. Fancy term, but it just means you're not stuck. You're training your brain to shift attention back to the present, back to what actually matters right now, instead of getting dragged away by the worry and the physical feelings.
Okay, makes sense. So to start making that shift practical, we need an anchor, something to hold on to. And the most obvious one, the one you always have with you, is your breath.
Yes, the breath. And there's real physiology behind why this works so well. Breathing mindfully actually engages the parasympathetic nervous system.
That's the calming one, right? The rest and digest system.
That's the one. See, during anxiety or panic, our breathing gets all messed up, usually fast and shallow, right up in the chest. Shifting to diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing helps regulate that pattern pretty quickly.
I find just counting breaths helps me sometimes, even if I'm just, stuck waiting somewhere. What's a really simple counting method people can try?
Oh yeah, counting is great. A really simple one is the 5-5-5 method. You just breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 5, hold it gently for 5, and then breathe out slowly through your mouth for 5. That slightly longer, controlled exhale is really important. It sends a signal to your brain that things are okay, you're safe. It helps calm everything down.
And to really get that belly breathing going, the sources mention putting one hand on your chest and one on your belly.
That's a great way to feel it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you breathe in through your nose, and you focus on making the hand on your belly rise, like you're inflating a little balloon down there.
Yeah.
The chest hand should stay relatively still.
And then you breathe out slowly, maybe through pursed lips, feeling the belly fall back down. It's very physical, helps you reconnect.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've anchored the body with the breath. But what about when the mind is just still going wild? That's where something like a body scan meditation can be really helpful, right? Grounding.
Absolutely. With the body scan, you're systematically shifting your attention through your body, usually starting at your toes and slowly moving upwards. And you're just noticing whatever sensations are there, tingling, warmth, maybe tightness, pressure, without judging them. Just noticing.
And if you find tension, like in your jaw or shoulders, seems like common spots.
Yeah, very common.
Yeah.
If you notice tension, the idea is to just gently acknowledge it, and then on your out-breath, consciously invite that area to soften, to release. Not forcing it, just inviting it to let go. It's more active than just wishing it away.
That makes sense. Okay, but let's level up. What about techniques for when the mind is really overactive? Because sometimes, for people new to this, sitting still and paying attention can actually make them more aware of the anxiety initially. It can feel worse at first.
That's a really crucial point. Yes, mindfulness will increase your awareness of uncomfortable feelings, especially at the start. That's kind of the point, but it can be tough. The key is developing psychological distance. We aim to cultivate what's sometimes called the witness state.
The witness state.
Yeah, like you're sitting on the bank of a river, just watching your thoughts float by like leaves. They come, they hang around for a bit, they go. You don't have to jump in the river after them.
So you don't have to believe them or fight them.
Exactly. You just notice, there's that worry thought again, or, okay, judgment mind is here. You just observe it with a bit of detachment, maybe even curiosity. And a really practical technique to build that muscle is called noting.
Noting.
Yeah. As soon as you notice a strong thought or emotion pop up, like fear or planning or judging you, just mentally, gently label it. Fear, planning, worrying. Just that simple act of labeling creates that tiny bit of space, that mindful pause we talked about. It reinforces that you are not the thought, you were the one observing the thought.
Yeah.
It weakens that automatic identification.
Okay, noting style. That sounds doable. Now here's something that sounds incredibly useful, especially for those really intense moments, maybe even a full-blown panic attack, when focusing inward just feels impossible. The sources mention the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique.
Ah, yes, that one's fantastic. It's genius because it completely shifts your focus outward, using your senses.
Right. Is that the idea? It kind of hijacks your attention away from the internal storm by forcing you to focus on the external world, like short-circuiting the worry.
That's exactly it. It forces an immediate focus shift. So you stop and deliberately name 5 things you can see right now. Just look around.
Okay, 5 things I see.
Then 4 things you can physically feel or touch. Maybe your feet on the floor, the texture of your clothes, the chair under you.
Right, 4 things I feel.
Then 3 things you can hear. Listen carefully. Traffic, a clock ticking, your own breathing.
3 sounds, got it.
Then 2 things you can smell. Maybe coffee, soap, the air itself.
Okay, 2 smells. This is really pulling you out.
And finally, 1 thing you can taste. Maybe the lingering taste of toothpaste or gum, or just the inside of your mouth.
Wow. Yeah, I can see how that would slam the brakes on rumination. It pulls you right into the here and now through your senses.
It really does. And broadening out a bit, the sources also connect this to acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. It offers a really mindful way to handle persistent fears.
ACT. Okay, how does that work with mindfulness?
Well, it basically has 3 steps. First, accept. Use your mindfulness skills to just acknowledge that the anxiety, the fear is present. Not fighting it, just allowing it to be there.
Okay, accept it's there. Step 1.
Second, choose. Get clear on what really matters to you, your values, your goals. What direction do you want to move in, regardless of the fear?
Right, identify your values, choose your direction.
And third, take action. Commit to taking steps, even small ones, that move you towards those chosen values and goals, even while the anxiety is still there. You carry the fear with you, but you keep moving.
So it's not about getting rid of the fear first, but about living a meaningful life alongside it.
That's the core idea, taking meaningful action in the presence of discomfort.
Okay, this is powerful stuff. Now let's talk about the proof, because this isn't just, feeling nice and relaxed. There's actual science here. The sources talk a lot about MBI's mindfulness-based interventions. Wait, let's back up. What exactly is an MBI? Break down the acronym soup for us.
Yeah, right. An MBI is basically just a standardized, structured program designed to teach mindfulness skills. Think of it like a course or a workshop. And the research is pretty clear. These programs are effective. They've been shown to significantly reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, often performing just as well as the gold standard therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT.
Wow, performing comparably to CBT, that's huge. So these are reliable ways to basically train your emotional regulation muscles.
Exactly.
Okay, let's look at the two big ones mentioned in the sources.
Sure. The first one is probably the most well-known, mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR.
MBSR, right.
It's typically an 8-week program. It really focuses on building those foundational mindfulness skills through guided meditations, body scans, some gentle mindful movement like yoga. And studies show it's definitely better at reducing anxiety symptoms than, say, just general stress management advice that isn't evidence-based.
Okay, so MBSR focuses on the core skills. What's the other main one?
The other big one is mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, or MBCT.
MBCT, okay.
So MBCT takes the core elements of MBSR, the meditation, the body scan, but it blends them with principles from cognitive therapy. It was specifically developed to help people who struggle with recurrent depression, but it's also very effective for anxiety.
Right.
It really hones in on how we react to changes in our mood or negative thoughts. It teaches you to spot those unhelpful, repetitive thinking patterns, those loops, and disengage from them before they spiral.
So if I'm hearing this right, whether it's these MBIs or traditional CBT, the end goal seems similar. Change your relationship with difficult thoughts and feelings. Realize they're just mental events, not facts carved in stone.
That's a great way to put it.
And by doing that, you weaken their power so they stop driving those unhelpful behaviors or that cycle of anxiety.
Precisely. You disarm the thoughts.
Okay, which leads us to maybe the biggest hurdle for anyone listening. Consistency. Life is busy. You might not have an hour for meditation every day. We need those small, practical ways to weave this into daily life, right? Without needing a special cushion or a quiet room.
Absolutely. Consistency beats intensity every time. Start small. Use transitions.
Transitions.
Yeah, like when you're stopped at a red light or waiting in line at the store. Instead of grabbing your phone, just take that moment. Practice that mindful pause. Take 1 or 2 deep, conscious belly breaths. Nobody even needs to know you're doing it.
I love that, using those little pockets of waiting time. What else?
Turn routine activities into mini mindfulness breaks. When you make your morning coffee or tea, really pay attention. Notice the smell, the warmth of the mug, the taste. Just for a minute.
Or maybe during a short walk.
Perfect. Take a 5-minute walk and leave your phone behind. Just notice the feeling of your feet hitting the ground, the sounds around you, the air on your skin. Again, just bringing awareness to simple, everyday moments.
That sounds much more manageable than finding a whole hour. What about that compassion practice you mentioned earlier? That sounded quick.
Oh yeah, the quick compassion practice. It's surprisingly powerful. If someone's irritating you or you're just feeling generally grumpy, take literally 10 seconds. Close your eyes if you want. Bring someone to mind, maybe the person irritating you, maybe someone else, and just mentally wish them well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful.
Even if you don't feel it.
Especially if you don't feel it. It's not about feeling compassionate instantly. It's about the intention. That simple act shifts your own internal energy away from irritation and towards something more positive. It's a tiny reset button.
Okay, 10-second reset. I like that. What about getting stuff out of your head?
Journaling is huge for that. Just dumping your worries onto paper can stop them from swirling around endlessly in your mind. It makes them concrete, less overwhelming.
Or maybe the opposite, consciously unplugging.
Yes. Try setting a timer for, say, 30 minutes in the evening. Put your devices away and just sit. Notice the urge to check your phone because it will come up. Notice the thoughts, the restlessness. Just observe it all without judgment. It's amazing what you become aware of when you stop distracting yourself.
That's a challenge.
It is. But remember, the goal here, the core thing for you, the learner, is that mindfulness is a practice of non-striving. You're not trying to force yourself to feel calm or happy immediately, though often that happens as a side effect. The real goal is getting better at feeling all of it. You're building your emotional capacity, your resilience. It's like strengthening a muscle, so that eventually even heavy emotional stuff feels a bit lighter, not because the weight changed, but because you got stronger.
That's such a powerful way to frame it. Getting better at feeling, not just trying to feel better. So the big takeaway from this deep dive seems to be this. Mindfulness gives you skills. Skills to accept what's happening right here, right now. Skills to choose how you respond instead of just reacting automatically. And skills to anchor yourself in the present even when worry tries to pull you away. The real power comes from realizing your thoughts are just thoughts, just stories, and you actually have the ability to notice them and just let them drift by, let them drop away.
Beautifully put. And maybe we can leave you with one final thought to chew on, something a bit provocative. Think about this. Our brains actually have this natural drive to solve problems, to heal, especially during downtime when things are quiet. But most of us are constantly distracting ourselves, right? Phones, TV, endless noise. We create this huge backlog of unresolved stuff.
A backlog of issues.
Yeah. So what if? Just what if tonight, instead of reaching for that usual distraction, you committed to just 10 minutes? Only 10 minutes of actual silence. No phone, no TV, no music, just quiet. What unresolved worry or issue might your mind bring up if you gave it that space? What if you just allowed that natural problem-solving capacity within you to start its quiet work? Just see what happens.
That's a fantastic challenge. 10 minutes of silence, definitely something to try. Well, thank you so much for sharing your sources and walking us through all this. This has been incredibly insightful, and thank you all for tuning in to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.